In this video, I want to talk about 8 things that never make sense to me as someone traveling to Malaysia for almost 20 years. First of all, Malaysia is a good place. I'm not saying I hate everything, but if y'all go to Malaysia and look at the issues I'm about to show you, then y'all will know how serious it is. And I want to go from the smallest to the ones that you probably don't even notice about Malaysia. But now, let's get into it. And the first thing that I find completely insane here in Malaysia is the mindless worship of other nations. And I love to call this the grass is always greener on the other side mentality, with the most common targets being Singapore. Man, y'all guys sure love them Singaporeans. The UK, Australia, and then America most of the time, which is complete nonsense to me. And this is not unique to Malaysia. A lot of people would see other nations as being better than their own. It's human nature, I guess. But bro, y'all don't have to put down Malaysia only to show how much you love others. Like, I came from America, bro, and you wouldn't believe how many Malaysians I met would straight up tell me that how they wished to move their entire family to America and then just leave Malaysia behind forever. Like, when foreigners like myself visit Malaysia, I see Malaysians putting all the other developed nations above Malaysia and then constantly go on about how y'all want to move away. Then what kind of first impression is this? Leaving in the minds of others. Also, this makes even less sense to me because I came from a nation that is constantly being worshipped, and it's simply unbelievable. Like, name me one thing that the US is doing better than Malaysia. Americans don't have money. Many people literally live on streets. What is there to worship? But that will not be more infuriating than the next fact about Malaysia and Malaysia that I'm probably the only one saying it. And that is the lack of interest in politics. Malaysians don't talk about politics. Y'all wouldn't even know who the Prime Minister is from your everyday Malaysian conversation. Maybe y'all don't trust your politicians anymore. Maybe y'all don't give a meow anymore. But not caring about politics is a dangerous thing, because you basically assume that things will work out. Someone else will fix it without you as the people having to do anything. And that will never make sense to me. Like, I live in a place where every single week you go out there and see protests and even strikes. And the people don't like what the leader is doing. Which is like every single second, bro. And yes, you can argue that Malaysians complain about corruption too. Yes, I totally agree. But if y'all only do that on the internet, then it makes no difference. Do you want to become America? Because this is what happened when nobody care about their nation enough to go and do anything. You gotta remember that at the end of the day, you put these people into power, you vote. You're not socialist or communist. They have power because of you. They owe you. So if y'all been complaining about corrupt politicians for decades, then what does that tell us about the mindset and action of the people? Okay, now my blood pressure is going up. Oh gosh. But the more you love Malaysia, the more the points I will bring up will shock you about Malaysia. And that is designing the whole city for cars instead of people. Deny all you want, but this is Americanization at its worst. Malaysia is designed to be just like America. And the only ones benefiting from all this are the filthy rich auto industry. Because now the only way to go anywhere is to drive. Walking to places around, even in KL, is complete insanity with the amount of roads and even highways that you have to cross. Then outside of KL, y'all have those roads with 3 to 4 lanes, and these are supposed to be the highway. Why can't you add more lanes? And sometimes you drive from one state to the next, and the number of lanes is suddenly cut in half. What? Next up, you have Malaysian traffic. It literally drains you every every single day. Be it the jam highway, red lights that never seem to end, or people cutting lanes without any warning. So y'all think to yourself, if I wake up a few hours early, maybe I can avoid the worst. But somehow you still end up being stuck in the middle. And I know most of you are probably used to it at this level, but it doesn't make it any less painful. They say they want to solve this by getting more buses and with different city planning. But seriously, nobody knows how long it's going to take. But now that we've got the tiniest ones out of the way, let's get into the ones that most of you, without a doubt, will disagree at first. But let me explain why we have to talk about it. And that is the constant mocking between West and East Malaysia. I call this the tribal mentality. Y'all live in one tribe, so you hate all the others. Bro, I keep hearing people from West Malaysia saying how Sabah is so backwards and people still live in trees. It was funny at first, but I heard it over and over again from everyone. It gets exhausting, bro. And then I went over to Sabah, and now they mock West Malaysia for being backwards and narrow-minded, and how people over there can't seem to look past religion or race. What is going on, bro? And that brings me to my next point. Why do most Malaysians look down on Malaysia? Be it another Malaysian, a company, or even a product made in Malaysia. Did y'all notice that the majority of Malaysians would talk badly or negatively about it, especially when outside of Malaysia? The Malaysians I met overseas would always tell everyone how bad Malaysia is, to the point I almost avoid talking to Malaysians abroad entirely, just so I won't have to debate with them how much I love Malaysia. And this is even more obvious when compared to other places in Southeast Asia. Like that just say Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. I never heard them mocking their own nation and other people as much as Malaysians. Is this some kind of Malaysian humor that I somehow don't know about? But whatever it is, it will not be as serious as the next thing, and that is the lack of one single national language. But y'all look at the Wikipedia page, Malay is being listed as the official language of Malaysia. But in my experience, a third of the population you meet in Malaysia don't even speak or understand enough Malay. And I'm not talking about the foreigners working here. Of course, they wouldn't speak Malay. But why can't the people of Malaysia agree on any single language? Now y'all gotta speak Malay, Chinese, and English just to communicate. But y'all know how impossible that is. And y'all know how sad it is for tourists like myself who learn years of Malay to have that conversational level of Malay, only to find out that speaking Malay only works like 25% of the time. Like, I love Malaysia. I really do. But how do y'all expect everyone to learn 3 other languages just to talk to you guys? And that even leads us to my next point. And that is the way you call over your waiters in Malaysia is simply unbelievable. With the push sound you make and waving as if you're having a stroke, which is extremely common in Mamak and those outdoor restaurants. It is so rude to look at. And I can't imagine how those people at the restaurant would enjoy being called over like a cat. And y'all know what the worst part is? In Malaysia, I always try to politely wait to make eye contact with the waiter. And so many times, that doesn't work. So y'all actually have to do the push sound and the crazy wave just to get their attention? What? I hope you're still here, because you know that my tiny complaints came from a place of love for Malaysia. But I just feel like Malaysia is growing in a lot of aspects, but also going backwards in some other aspects. And I just want to know what you think about it. As always, I will be reading comments, so you can do it right now. But now that you know what I personally think about Malaysia, then how about what Americans think about Malaysia? Because in this video, I'm going over the 10 biggest lies America still tells us about Malaysia. And y'all can smash the video to find out what it is.